Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Welcome to episode 11, the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, episode 11. Help, I'm so bored. Oh my gosh, what do I do? Oh, this fasting is so hard. I'm so bored. Oh my gosh, I'm bored. I got some solutions, I got some tips, and I'm going to tell you what I did and what I still continue to do to this day, so stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicki Sharon, and thank you for joining me. All right, so today's episode is titled, Help, I'm so bored. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. This fasting lifestyle makes you come to face with those uncomfortable moments, those uncomfortable feelings, those sensations and habits that we think has to occupy our time. And for me, old Vicky, it was, when I was bored or if I was emotionally triggered, stressed, overly excited, overly happy, I very commonly turned to food. But truthfully, it shouldn't have to be that way. We are not dogs. We're not animals that need rewards or stimulation with food to occupy our time. And if you are feeling like you are in that place and space and feeling like you can't do fasting because of that addiction, I'm here to tell you, especially in this episode, that we can overcome that. So we're going to cover a bunch of topics here. So first off, I want to let you know that if you are just starting out, and you're feeling very intimidated about the time that's going to pass and feeling like you're mentally not in that right place or headspace yet, I'm going to highly recommend right out the gate that you check out episode 2 of my podcast that discusses very thoroughly on why you need to really hold on to your reason why. What is your purpose, your passion, your path, your method, all that good stuff. So the why, again, has to be really, really heavy. It has to be really significant. It has to be such an anchor for you on this journey so that you don't feel like you are susceptible to going off on binges, feeling like you have to occupy your time standing at the fridge, stuffing your face, standing at the pantry, stuffing your face. I'm saying all that because that used to be me. Like that was my general go-to of any emotional slight trigger pang sensation was I need to fill my time stuffing my face. And well, that got me to almost 400 pounds. And I'm telling you, that doesn't need to be the case for you. You can overcome this. So first off, I'm going to ask you, what do you like to do in general? Are there hobbies, activities, things that interest you? Maybe there are things in your life that you really enjoy doing, but we kind of put them off and we think, oh, I don't have time. Maybe one day, someday you put it off in your mind, or maybe you write it down like your to-do list or a task list, or maybe a favor somebody was asking you to do at one point. This is a great time to start chipping away at that honey-do list if you've got one. For me, my go-tos when I first started out that continue to this day to be things that I will go to, that I enjoy doing, because again, as I said many times before, if I don't enjoy doing it, I'm not going to do it. If it's not something that brings me happiness and fills, that inner cup that we've got, then I probably won't do it. So for me, even before discovering fasting, art in general, whether it's painting, whether it's creating, whether it's doing anything like artistic expression, whatever, that has always been my jam and always been something that's very cathartic, and it's a very good emotional mental release for me for a very, very long time. So for me, I have a studio space out in my garage. If you don't have the space to kind of set a place or kind of outlet where you can have that creative expression, which I highly advocate for everybody. It doesn't have to be painting in a sense. Side note, if you want to do, painting events, I'm actually probably I am in the works of setting something up to do some kind of virtual led paint event for all my fasting community to help occupy the time, to help just get your mind off of the actual fasting process itself. Because, that saying where, time flies when you're having fun. And it's true. If you're doing something that you thoroughly enjoy, time is going to fly. Time is going to fly right by, especially when you're in your happy place, like you're vibing, you're jamming out or whatever. Time just will fly by. So again, for me, my art space out in the garage that I've got is always a place that's ready and available for me to go out and just have moments of creativity to whatever effect it may be. Sometimes I can only spend a few minutes out there. Sometimes I can spend hours out there. Make whatever place and space you can, wherever you reside. Maybe it's somewhere that makes it so that you have to get out of your house to connect with friends, family, wherever, whoever, so that you can have that creative expression again to get your mind off of the actual maybe addiction to food that you've got, to think that that pull to fill your time with food doesn't always have to be like that. I mean, unless you're a chef and that's what you enjoy doing and cooking. If you enjoy cooking, maybe think about how you can cook or make food if that's what you truly enjoy doing, which I'm not going to slight that or slam you for if you enjoy cooking or baking for others. Maybe make it something that you don't enjoy eating yourself. So for me, I know a lot of the times when I was making dinner, especially for my kids who, of course, I make them meat-free meals and stuff when I cook for all of us. But when I was in that deliberate fasted state, or I was in an extended fast where I knew I didn't want to break my fast, I would make food for my kids. And even before my husband passed away, I would make food for them that I didn't like, food that maybe had meat in it that I knew I wouldn't want to eat or have, nibbles or whatever anyway. So if that's something that you can utilize, take that and integrate that into your lifestyle as well. So, with something that I actually, again, like I said before, if there's something that you've always kind of wanted to do, something you've wanted to learn, maybe some hobby that you've always wanted to pick up or start, but again, didn't have the time, place, space, whatever, the beginning of last year, I really, really wanted to, I've kind of always low-key wanted to know how to play the piano, and I wanted to, just this silly little desire in the back of my mind for a very, very long time. I've always wanted to be able to see a piano, sit down, and just play a song if I wanted to, if I saw it. So I dedicated deliberate time each day in just working on learning how to play, teaching myself how to play. If there's something in your life, doesn't necessarily have to be piano. Maybe you want to try guitar. I remember in grade school, I tried to learn how to play the flute, and I was so obsessed with wanting to already be proficient in the flute that I just gave it up really quickly because I didn't enjoy the process. And I think that's why again, I'm not striving for perfection for my process in learning with the piano. It has to be something that you enjoy being present in those moments. So again, regardless of your proficiency, Bob Ross had a really great quote that I remember was mentioned in his most recent Netflix documentary that talks about his life and journey and everything that he's done. There's a quote that popped up that I love dropping it in whenever applicable. Talent is pursued interest. So if there's something that you are truly interested in doing, you got to be persistent in it. You got to be consistent, persistent, and enjoy each of these learning moments, being happy and finding pleasure and happiness in the process, in the mistakes that you make, realizing that when I flub up at the piano, if I'm teaching myself how to play a song, and I'm trying to hear it, and like I teach myself how to play by ear. So if I'm teaching myself and I, mess up a chord or a beat or whatever, I'm just like, okay, all right. And I keep at it. Because if we go to the reflex of, oh my God, I'm so stupid. That feeds what we talked about in previous episodes, that negative verbiage wheel in our head, which we're trying to break, which, very closely relates. If you have a poor relationship with your eating lifestyle and habits, that's going to feed what's up here. So when I first started teaching myself how to play the piano, I knew that this was going to be a long process. And I was happy with that, just the same as when I started with this fasting lifestyle. I knew that I had to find happiness and joy in the everyday mundane, everyday little lame moments that are insignificant to anybody else. Honestly, like I've talked about before, thoughts, feelings, opinions of other people, if they don't come from a supportive, loving place and position, don't keep them. Don't hold on to them. They're not yours. When I was teaching myself, I remember I had all the little stickers on each of the keys. And for me, I have to be able to see, and I learn by doing. So when I was learning, and if you've seen the video that I've shared where the first song I ever played or taught myself to play on the piano was Radiohead Creep. And for me, being very musically obsessed, again, I'm not looking to be a famous musician by any means. I just love the process. Hearing the when you were here before, like hearing that was enough for me to be like, oh, I can hear it. I can hear it's in there somewhere. And it's like that muscle. The more you flex, again, talent is pursued interest. Finding the happiness in hearing like, ooh, it's there. Ooh, this is like, yeah. Get excited. Get excited about this stupid, lame shit that like nobody else will understand but you. Let it fill your cup. Let it bring you that happiness and joy. And truly, it's like that dance when no one's watching. Dance when no one's watching. Who cares? It's your life. Having these moments along my piano learning journey, that gave me the momentum each day. And I've made it now to where like my piano sits in my living room because I want it to be a visual, physical reminder that again, side note, like I didn't get a chance yet to play the piano today, so I'll probably do it after I'm done here because I'm like in it now that I'm talking about it. So I set it to where it's in a visible space where I know I'm going to want to go and work at it and finding that enjoyment. And again, for me, so like I'm very song obsessed. I love singing along. I'm a very karaoke kind of minded, and folks that have karaoke'd with me before, like that's my thing. Again, I'm not looking for perfection. I love the process. I love learning. I love that sense of inner discovery of like, wow, I really can do this. I really can. And like I said, that having that enjoyment and those happy moments, that's going to occupy so much time because I'll be like doing my stuff, pumping the jams, whether I'm cleaning my house and stuff, playing the piano, whatever. And then I'll go to look, I'm like, oh, wow, I got to go get the kids now. Time will fly. Sitting down at the piano and just, I tell people this and it sounds silly. Again, I don't give a shit. Like it sounds silly. I will sit there and I call it my brain dump. Like that's really, I know it takes brain power and focus and concentration and everything, but I shut my brain, like I tell my kids, I shut my brain off when I'm at the piano because it's just like I hear the music and I'm just in it. And I don't care if I'm doing it, like if I sound perfect or whatever, it's for me. It's for nobody else but for me. And that's how it should be with things that you're occupying your time with along this path with your fasting efforts. These should be things and activities, stuff that you're working at should be to fill that inner cup, to fill your time, to restore your happiness. Again, especially with things that maybe you've always wanted to do. Like I said, with teaching myself how to play the piano, I've always wanted to be able to do that. And now I've, different places that I go to, if I see they have a piano, I'll like, is it safe? Like, can I go over there and just go like, just play a little bit? And it's fun. Like, I don't do it. I block out everybody else and I'm in it. And that's the same way my brain and behavior goes to the same way when I sit down in my studio. I turn on whatever music that I want to kind of like, get in the, get in the fields with. And I just let loose. I just creatively let loose. We got to remove that judgment and that preconceived notion that, it has to be perfect. It has to be like, to compare to whatever anybody else. Honestly, don't compare yourself to anybody else's journey. Don't compare your process to anybody else's journey. Only look to see how you can improve on what you did and achieved for yourself the day previous, and just continue to build on top of that. So that's my piano, my art. I love, honestly, like I have speakers all around my house where, between putting it on the TV at times, my go-to is this little, I got through my financial aid at school, this little HomePod speaker, Bluetooth speaker thing that I love, just putting it on blast and having the music play throughout my entire house. And that keeps me like in a great headspace to just, tidy up, sweep the floor. And I'm always dancing while I'm sweeping the floor, dancing while I'm, doing whatever, while I'm doing the laundry, like all the lame, boring stuff that we dread. Make it fun. Make it fun. And truly, like, another thing I love talking about too is moving, having that physical kinetic motion from your body, especially when we're in those very raw, vulnerable moments that maybe have brought triggers previously that you're trying to work at and overcome. When we're in that physical process of moving our body and getting up and away from whatever stimuli is causing us to feel like we need to have that binge, or we need to, satiate and have those feelings numbed by the food that we're being triggered by or whatever, get up, move around. If the brain is running, spinning, move the body instead. So I love saying, because I found this on one of these really great physical therapists that I follow on Instagram. I think his name is like Justin Augustin or something like that. He put this quote up once and I thought it was brilliant. He said, "Motion is lotion." So excessive, strenuous workouts, they're not necessary throughout my entire journey. So if there's, if you've got bodily aches and sores and stuff, for me, I don't talk about it very much because I don't like to complain. I don't like to just harbor and focus on that negativity. I have very limited range of motion in my arms. So like in my right arm, I may have dislocated or something, like it's just really tender and sore, but I make sure on a daily basis to move it, and work it, warm up the muscles whenever possible. I do have some pain and stiffness in my right knee as well. And I know personally, if it's just like the saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I feel much better when I'm in a good headspace, especially if I'm at the piano or if I'm in my studio or even at like a painting event like I did last night, where if I am mentally occupying myself with something that I enjoy doing, my brain and focus isn't on the pain, isn't on the soreness and limited range of motion, whatever. Like I can still use my arm. It may be just like tender and sore. If it gets really bad, take intervention steps with stretching it or whatever that you need to, pain reliever if you need to. But again, motion is lotion. So as a side note, also, I'll probably talk about this on like an exercise specific episode, but with that motion is lotion, moving around, doing exercise, if that is what truly brings you joy. I know there are people out there that go into like that hypnotic, that runner's high. If that's you, cool, go with it, use it, go on running adventures, walking adventures, if that's your thing, wherever, however, that fills that inner cup. For me at home, like I mentioned before, my motion and movement activity at home is most often associated with dancing around and moving my body in that sense. So as you can see here, I'm like, I still am just bop, moving around in my seat. And my kids laugh at me too when we're in the car, especially at like stoplights and stuff. And they've got their own playlist on my Spotify account that they'll just like, hey, mom's not looking, I'm going to take mom's phone. And it's so funny because they'll put on like, if you're familiar with the artist deadmau5, or I used to call it deadmau5, but I think it's called deadmau5. You can correct me if that's the correct pronunciation for it. But it's like, dun, 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 dun. Like it's just really like good makes you want to just get up and wiggle, dance around, do that like fist pumping thing, whatever works best for you. Truly, like getting out your favorite tunes, blasting whatever genre music you really resonate with that, again, fills your cup, is going to make doing those chores, tasks, things that you have to do and work on so much more enjoyable. So this is your PSA. Crank the tunes and enjoy the process. Enjoy whatever task, assignment, whether, you're sitting typing at your computer, put in your headphones and just, You obviously you're not going to go like full, raver. Like you're not going to go to a full rave if you're sitting at your office desk, but just like you can get a good head bob going or like get a little wiggle in your seat and just, And if other people look at you, honestly, who gives a shit? Like, sorry, but who cares? Who cares what other people think? And if you're enjoying yourself, if you're hyper focused and you're like, doing a good job, it puts you in a good mood. It puts you in a great headspace. It gets your body like wiggling, moving, grooving, and you're just like, And then before you know it, you're like, oh, hey, it's time to go home. Or, oh, hey, all my chores are done. Oh, wow, look, I just finished, cleaning and mopping the floor that I'm going to be doing later because my weekly chore for myself is Wednesdays we do floors. So that's going to be my bump in the tunes. Probably my kids are going to be like, Mom, we're going to put on Deadmau 5 to put on to do the floor. So that's what I'm probably going to do. It makes doing those, like I said, those boring, mundane things. I love talking about, if you ever seen the movie Mary Poppins, where I think I already mentioned this before, so I'm going to repeat it again. I don't care. Where she goes into the nursery and Jane and Michael are, just like all scared and sad, like, oh no, it's a big mess in here. And Mary goes, with every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. Find the fun and snap, the job's a game. So when we add that element of fun, because adults, we're just grown-ass children, if we have that element of fun and enjoyment into whatever lame, boring, mundane thing that we've got to do, time will fly. Time will fly by, and before you know it, you're going to be like, woo, that was easy. So you tell yourself, wow, that was easy, or that was really fun. So next time when you do it, maybe it's the next day if that's like your work hustle, bring that element of fun back into there. And it elevates your mood. It makes you feel really good, passes the time really quickly and easily. And it has so much just overall emotional well-being, positivity, good lifting attributes about it all. Another thing I like to really reinforce as well, when in these moments of stressors, maybe sights, smells, conversations, or people around where you feel that susceptibility to binge or travel, like if it's your normal route to like go to your fridge and just, like many of us have done, myself included, when we go to open the fridge and we just stand there and we scan, we're like, what can I grab to put in my face right now? What can I grab? Whether it's your fridge, your pantry. I feel like if we can get out of that space, whether it's from sitting down, get up, walk around a little bit, go walk around outside, get yourself some vitamin D, go leave your house if you can, reach out to a friend, family member, start a conversation, play with your pet. Again, bring that element of fun to distract the mind, because if you let the mind grow those little weeds and behavioral thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you need this food to, like, as a pacifier, like as an adult pacifier to pacify your feelings, triggers, all that stuff, you're more likely to go on that binge. So one of the things I really like to tell folks whenever I can, and I'm going to share with you right now. So like I talked about cooking before, when you're cooking, even if you're doing those daily intermittent fasts, when you're done cooking, a tip I'm going to give to you, if this is able to be utilized in your home, please do this. When you're done cooking, clean and clear the space. If you are the type in your household to leave munchies and snackies, listen to me, God, Vicky. If you are the type to leave like a snack basket around, or just like fresh this, whatever around, you visibly seeing it repeatedly over and over again are more likely to grab it and snack on it. If we don't see it, if it's there's that saying, out of sight, out of mind. Put things away. Clear your space. Not only is that going to make it so that you don't go on to those binges or break maybe earlier than what you intended to, or with something that you shouldn't or don't want to have as a break for your fast anyway. Out of sight, out of mind, put it away, clear the counters. It's going to help to kind of just clear your mind. When you are done completely cooking, when those counters are clear, shut the kitchen light off. And the reason why I say that, it's like if you've ever worked in a restaurant before or a kitchen, and when the restaurant is closed for the night, what do they do? What do they do when the restaurant's closed? Do they leave the lights on? Do they leave the power and everything on? No. And the verbiage I've said to my kids many times, and they know at this point, I turn the lights off and I say, kitchen's closed. So that's just like a reaffirmation of there's no need to snack. Everybody's bellies should be satisfied and full. We should be good to go. There's no need to be grazing, meandering around in the kitchen unless you need a drink of water. Cool. That's good. It helps to just like that visual reminder to let you know that you don't need to head back, or like, again, that boredom that will bring you back into the kitchen, looking in your pantry. Oh, what do I have? Oh, I just need to pass the time. Oh, I'm watching my favorite show. I just need something, no, you don't. I'm telling you, you don't. Getting out of your space, like I said before, is going to make a really big deal. Again, I've said before too, if you have to cook for friends, family, just as a reminder, make foods that you don't like. So like I've said before, I don't eat meat, but there are often times where I have like dairy infrequently from here to there. But when I'm cooking and in that fasted state, I'll make something that I don't want to eat, that I don't like eating, again, because that's going to help reinforce that I'm not going to be munching or kind of like grazing on what's there. And that is what we want when we're in that fasted state. Really, really beneficial to me on my journey that I still keep up with to this day, that I think I touched upon a little bit in the episode here previously. I feel it's really beneficial when we can keep and create a routine for ourselves. But at the same time, it should be something that's flexible, where anytime schedule changes or, some life is going to hurl some messy-ish in your way. It's got to be, structured but flexible, so that if something does come up, you have like your main plan A. But if something comes up, you can quickly just hang a left and still stay on your path with a plan B as your backup. And this is something you can stick with, whether it's your daily intermittent fasts, your alternative day, or your extended fast. It doesn't matter. It can be something that, again, make it something that you enjoy doing, that you look forward to. It's that if you fail, I'm going to mess it up here. If you fail to plan to fail, I think is the right way to say it. Establishing that routine, having that elements in your day to look forward to, again, are going to solidify your meaning, your path, your purpose on this journey. It's going to, again, make time fly by, so that in those moments where we are triggered by thoughts, feelings, food smells, experiences, whatever, we have these little moments of victories. And in addition to everything I've already said in this episode, I feel it's super, super important, if you don't yet already have a place, a space where you can document to whatever effect that works best for you, have somewhere that you can document and collect your non-scale victories. And a non-scale victory, for those that don't know, NSVs, non-scale victories, are little achievements that we have along our fasting journey that, for example, when you reach a smaller pant size and you have that moment of celebration, you need to give yourself appreciation and acknowledgement for reaching whatever achievement, this victory. When you have these moments, these little can be as little as, hey, I said no to when my coworker offered me a donut when I typically, Wednesdays mornings, so-and-so brings in donuts. And this week I said no because I'm in a fasted state. That, my friend, is a victory. That deserves to be celebrated. Write it down. I said no to the donut. Own it, love it. Really be present with the way that you're feeling with saying no to that, and realize there is incredible power and strength in that. And having that really ownership of that physical sensations, thoughts, feelings, of beliefs towards yourself and your path, purpose, mission for yourself on this journey is only going to make it stronger, more powerful, longer lasting, more consistent. It's just going to make you a force to be reckoned with the more you're able to, again, flex this muscle. And to remember that you're striving for progress, not perfection. So if you do have moments where you slip up and you have an indulgent, somebody asks you if you want something and, your present habits now are saying like, oh, I shouldn't have this, but you give in anyway. Not beating yourself up, realizing, okay, yeah, I gave into that, but that's not going to define me. It's not going to keep me down or hold me back. I'm still going to push forward because I can try again tomorrow. Tomorrow's a brand new day and I can try again tomorrow. And revisit that list of non-scale victories once you create that to whatever effect again works for you. I've had non-scale victories on Post-it notes. I keep them up right now. I have a little list of them up on my calendar board that I love just having there as that visible reminder to see anytime I'm walking back and forth from like closet to bathroom or whatever, and it still is up there. Make it as fun, silly, enjoyable as it's going to be for you. And side note, that can be a little artistic project for you if you want it. So you're welcome. Make it something fun and something that you look forward to. Because again, like I said, there should be elements throughout your fasting journey here where you look forward to parts of each and every day. And if you're coming from poor eating relationships, maybe you're in a very hard, sticky relationship, whether with a significant other, husband, wife, children, in-laws, parents, whoever. Like I said in my last episode, if you're getting spewed on verbally or in just like toxic mindset of negativity, it's going to be difficult to recalibrate that headspace to find the pleasure and enjoyment in this process. And really, it's something that obviously, like I said before, excuse me, it's something that does take time. It takes a lot of compassion for yourself and for this process to know that little steps, no matter how long it takes, as long as you keep moving. Again, motion is lotion, remember? If you're making progress in the right direction, you'll get there. Don't compare yourself to anybody else's journey, but how you were the day before. And again, progress, not perfection. As I've said many times before, and I love and will always continue to say it, this life that we are given can be short, sweet, and we have the power to make it whatever we want. If we want to fix it and repair it, we can. Time will pass whether or not we take action. So it is up to us and our conscious, deliberate decisions every single day as to whether we want it to be hard, this hard of being physically obese where I was at almost 400 pounds. I didn't want that hard. I much rather enjoyed the hard of showing up for myself every single day in my consciously deliberate fasting efforts, putting in those daily intermittent fasts, knowing that I was making the steps and strides in the right direction, because it will pay off. And these moments, these little mundane moments of showing up for yourself every day, having the elements of happiness in these mundane moments when you're able to say no to triggers or sights, sounds, smells, sensations, whatever, to where you would have given up before, saying no and realizing how strong you are, documenting those non-scale victories, this makes up the story of your life. And this is something that it's essential to constantly revisit. When you're in those moments of weakness, revisit those non-scale victories, revisit everything that you've accomplished so far. Maybe if you're just starting out and if you're like, oh, I don't have any victories or anything yet, what have you accomplished? What are you proud of in your life? What brings you happiness in your life? Again, this kind of coincides with what I talked about with the why. It can make a beautiful life story for you. You absolutely can make and build a beautiful life story for you, but nobody is going to want to do this and fix it for you. Show up for yourself every single day. Be present in every single one of these moments. And I promise you the end result is going to be so beautiful, so amazing. And it's going to be something where you find just incredible happiness and internal fulfillment, looking back and reflecting, wow, I did that. And so you can look in the mirror or look at your journey and say, I did that, and own it and be proud of it and love it. That helps to build the stronger self-love within ourselves. Because as I always like to say whenever I end my podcast episodes, I believe in you. You listening right now, I believe in you, even if you don't. And I mean that with every single cell and breath in my body. You can absolutely do this. You got to show up for yourself every single day and realize this path, this journey, this life that you are on and in right now, you can make it such a beautiful story for yourself. Okay? All right. I'm giving you all a big, beautiful, supportive, encouraging, motivating hug right now. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, I believe in you, even if you don't. If you need supportive, motivating guidance, wisdom with fasting in your journey, on your purpose, path, all that good stuff, check out the fastingfocuslifestyle.com. I have my calendar there, and I'd love to make a specialized kind of approach for you if you are in need of assistance. So take care, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk again later. Thanks. The Fasting Focus Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2022. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can. In the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.